In the sweet sorghum world, there are several social and industrial realities. One of these realities is which exists in India. India is one of the most important countries on the development of hybrids varieties of sweet sorghum. Thus, this situation allows the progress of food and energetic sector without competence between them. The Indian travel has been for the project Sweethanol the first step to evaluate the actual reality of the bioethanol sector from sweet sorghum. India is one of the countries where the sweet sorghum has been developed more, mainly with the advances on the sorghum varieties and in the crop management. In fact, India is where exists the only two bioethanol plants from sweet sorghum, Rusni Distillery and Tata Chemical Company Distillery. Both companies have been developed considering the social reality in the area. Thus, they have adjusted the production capacity to the crops of the area, and they have involved the local farmers on the raw material production, the sweet sorghum. ICRISAT, International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, is one of the international reference centers on the sweet sorghum varieties development, including the development of new hybrids and improve the process on the field. ICRISAT is situated on Hyderabad city on the middle south of India. And, as is indicated in their slogan, Science with Human Face, the main objective of ICRISAT is the application of the research for the development of less development areas in India and Africa. This objective has shown the steps to follow in the researches done in this center about sweet sorghum, focused on the development of new varieties with grain and sugar on stock production at the same time to develop a new industrial sector, bioethanol production, at the same time that is maintaining the grain for food production. Although the ICRISAT has been focused mainly on the agronomic development of the crops, they have participated on the industrial uses of these crops working at pilot scale. The pilot scale development of the crops use has allowed translating the obtained results into the industry, using it for the social benefits. We need to know that the crop's mechanization on India is limited. Thus, a lot of workers are needed to cultivate the crops. This is translated into a social benefit in the less development areas with new infrastructures, work, security, etc. The ICRISAT activity is not only focused on the development of sweet sorghum in India. In fact, the objectives of ICRISAT are more extensive and ambitious. The objectives that are developed on India and Africa want a real development of these areas. Apart from sweet sorghum development, ICRISAT is working with a great number of vegetable species and varieties, mainly for food production. This has been translated into a large number of projects of development where have been involved farmers and local associations, assuming as own objective the social and agronomic development. ICRISAT is participating on social projects where are created delocated working centers. The sweet sorghum has been an option for a lot of Indian families. The extraction and concentration in small working centers allow the bioethanol production in faraway industrial plants because the concentrated sugar juice can be stored and conserved without any problem, and it is not going to ferment or to be degraded during the transport to the industrial plants. ICRISAT has advised to these working groups showing how to make the sorghum crop, sugar extraction with small rolling mills, evaporation and concentration, and storage of the sweet juice at small scale. This is the first step of an industrial development. Thinking on a specific social reality, India has shown its human and social face of the development, looking for equilibrium between social and industrial benefits. Of course, without forgetting that the main objective of this country is that everybody improves his situation in the same way, without forgetting on the road any sector or social level. The industrial development of the sweet sorghum in India exists thanks to a company like Tata Chemical. The Tata Chemical Company, Indian leader on chemical products production, has wanted to participate in bioethanol production sector through a specific project, which has resulted in the construction of the first bioethanol plant from sweet sorghum located in Nanded, Maharashtra, in the center of India. The initial investment made by Tata Chemical for the development of this plant has been over $10 million, which is focused mainly on the evaluation and development of an industrial model scalable and useful. The present plant developed by Tata Chemical has a production capacity of 30,000 liters per day of bioethanol, with a previous area for storing the sorghum stalks and their processed until the extraction step of the sugar. Tata Chemical has cultivated 450 hectares of land in Maharashtra for sweet sorghum production, which is used in their bioethanol production plants. The raw material is transported to the industrial plant in small trucks and tractors with trailers. The main objective with this transport is the reduction of the time between the harvest and the arrival to the plant, maintaining this time between 4 or 5 hours. Thus, the proper maintenance of the raw material is ensured and is reduced the loss of sugars from the stem, which is equivalent to the loss of ethanol. The stalk discharge is done by cranes to a hopper that feed the pallet conveyor, up to a grinder that prepares the stalks of sweet sorghum for the subsequent extraction. After preparation of the stalks, they are transported to the rolling mills, continuous extractors, where is obtained the sweet sorghum juice. The milling capacity of the plant is 900 tons per day of sweet sorghum stalks, which ensures a sufficient supply of sorghum juice to the juice concentration plant. The Tata Chemical Company has installed 4 rolling mills in the extraction line with an electrical power of 100 kilowatts per rolling mill. Thus, performance in the extraction of juice of sucrose from sorghum stalk is closer to 95%. To increase the yield of the sugar extraction from sorghum stalks, lixiviation water is added to the last rolling mill. Thus, the juice obtaining from the last rolling mill is used to increase the extraction yield on the previous rolling mill and from this to the previous one until the first rolling mill of the line. The final bagasse obtained from the last rolling mill is used to obtain the energy that the plant demands. This bagasse has a humidity of 50%, and it will be one of the fuels that the steam boiler uses to produce steam with high pressure that will be used to obtain the electric power and the heat that the plant needs to work. In addition to the bagasse generated in the extraction, other biomass fuels are used in the boiler as wood obtained in the area around the plant. This biomass, bagasse and wood is burned in boilers to generate processed steam. The steam obtained will have a very high pressure with which it can generate electricity in a steam turbine with a generating capacity of 7 megawatts. Thus, the bioethanol production plant produces its own electricity from renewable sources. After the extraction of sugar, the juice is concentrated to 65 and 85 degrees Brix, ensuring proper conservation, allowing extended use of it throughout the year. Thus, the processes of fermentation and distillation can operate throughout the year by diluting the concentrated juice of sorghum stored previously. Thus, the production of bioethanol can be kept constant throughout the year with a constant supply to ensure the profitability of the plant. The viability of these facilities is due to the increase and productive period of the plant in the year, so that regardless of the harvesting period of the raw material for bioethanol production, the production process can be maintained over 8 or 9 months per year. The oversized stage of sorghum juice extraction and subsequent concentration is a very interesting alternative in order to maintain the fermentation, distillation, and dehydration during the year. The other option to achieve the increase of production of bioethanol from sweet sorghum in the year is to improve the conservation of raw material harvested, the stalks of sorghum silage or their dehydrated, but are still open lines of work. Tata Chemical has opted to bioethanol from sweet sorghum. This commitment has resulted in a significant investment of more than $10 million in this plant. But the management of Tata is still working and betting by the bioethanol production from sorghum. Company plans to invest $150 million in the ethanol production sector over the next 3 or 4 years, allowing you to position itself as the largest bioethanol production in India. This first travel really showed us a special reality, perhaps not comparable with what happens in Europe or the US, but it is basic to understand what the future of bioethanol and energy crops is. India has shown a reality that integrating food and energy sector is central to achieving development effectiveness. Looking for an industrial development in disadvantaged areas as well as social development to ensure sustainability of the Indian production model.